Hey everybody and welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're going to be talking about Brightest Day. Hey everybody and welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I am your host Brent and today we're going to be doing an overview of these Brightest Day hardcovers. But before we get into that, let me ask you to please do one thing. Please subscribe. Helps me out, helps the channel grow, lets you know when I drop new videos, all the good stuff. So, what is Brightest Day? Well, this was an event following the Blackest Night. And if you know anything about Green Lantern, you know his oath, and that following the, in Blackest Night, in Brightest Day. So, and there was an Alan Moore story in the 80s that mentioned the Blackest Night. And Jeff Johns started his Green Lantern run and built up to this. This is the Blackest Night saga. And at the end of Blackest Night, we came out of the Blackest Night event and into the Brightest Day. So what is Brightest Day? Brightest Day is the story of these characters whom at the end of Blackest Night, this is in the last issue here, they came back to life. And these characters during Blackest Night had been Black Lanterns or the Zombie Lanterns. And this is a weird... It was a 4-page spread in the original issue. They just did not choose to collect it this way. They chose to collect it as two double-page spreads here in the trade. That's okay, but it is a little weird. They added this like live word down here twice. But anyway, so the Brightest Day hardcovers follow the story of these characters that came back here: Firestorm, Martian Manhunter, Jade, Hawk. You got a little bit of Maxwell Lord and Reverse Flash that takes place in another thing. The Hawkman, Hawkwoman, Hawkgirl. That's Shira Hall, Osiris Deadman, and Aquaman. So it's really this story, these characters here that are the focus of the Brightest Day. Now the Green Lantern stuff does continue in its own Green Lantern volume here, and that has more to do with all the different avatars and who's got what avatars of all the different colored lanterns. I'm looking for my Justice League Generation Lost. So at the same time you had Brightest Day running, you also had this series here, and these were both weekly series, the Brightest Day and Justice League Generation Lost. This is its own self-contained tale, although it does spin out of Brightest Day as it's got the moniker on top. But this is about Maxwell Lord coming back to life and the Justice League International getting pissed and basically, going after him. So this is its own tale. You don't have to read this as part of Brightest Day, really. I mean, you can, but you can go straight from Blackest Night into here if you really want to follow that story, or you can just start off in this story here. But we're here to talk about this, the main event of Brightest Day. So let's look at these hardcovers. So actually, I was... just book hunting. I went to this used bookstore here in town, and they had the first two Brightest Day hardcovers for $10 each. So I was like, I'm not gonna pass that up. I'm gonna take advantage of that. So I picked these up, and then I got home and I thought this was volume 1 and volume 2, and I thought I had the whole thing, and turns out nope, there's actually a volume 3. So I did special order this one off of eBay, which came in really great condition. So I'm pretty happy about that. So the actual hardcovers, let's open them up here. This first one has the Brightest Day symbol. It's just not in gold foil. It is here in gold foil on the second one on volume 2. And let's take a look at volume 3, back to no foil. So that is a little weird. I would think that they would all be the same. That would be nice. It does have the gold foil on the side here of Brightest Day. Let's take a look. Anything on the back? Nothing on the back. Let's take a look at volume 1. Nope, volume 1, and I'm sure volume 3 is the same way. There's no gold foil, but it does say Brightest Day on here. You just can't read it. They even have volume 1 in here. It's like maybe they forgot or something. Anyway, that's kind of weird. So let's take a look at volume 1 in here. So this was I want to say it was 24 issues. Yeah. So this had come out of the weekly series thing for DC was going strong. It started with 52 following Infinite Crisis, and then we had Countdown to Final Crisis, which was another 52 issues. Then we had Trinity, which I think was 52 issues, and Trinity has been collected, but I have not seen a collection of it. That one was maybe the worst of them. I mean, Countdown to Final Crisis was both good and bad in that it didn't go into Final Crisis at all. So by this time, this is like the fourth year of weekly series. So instead of doing, one long weekly series, they decided to launch two. Maybe was there? I think a third one was a different. I want to say there's Future's End. Maybe that was a different time. But anyway, they had this going, and this was 24 issues, and the Justice League Generation Lost was also 24 issues, and they were running concurrently. I don't know why Justice League Generation Lost is 2 hardcovers and this one is 3. Maybe because this was going to sell more and they were going to charge you more for these hardcovers. I mean, these ran for, $30. So, I gotta say, though, I do like this story of Brightest Day. It's got some wonderful creators behind it, although they're not reading around here. Jeff Johns, Peter Tomasi, who's both of these are great writers. Ivan Rice on art. He was doing the Green Lantern, then he did all of Blackest Night, and then he steps into Brightest Day here to do a whole bunch of stuff. Patrick Gleason, Fernando Pasarin, Ardian Syaf, Scott Clark, and Joe Prado as, I guess, one of the main inkers. It is kind of weird that they don't have a, here we go, here's a credits page. Oh, Joe Prado is they do have him as art, not an inker. All the inkers on here. Guest artists, Mark Bagley, Ed Benes, Andy Kubert, Aaron Lopresti, Mike Mayhew, Matt Ryan. So I don't know why they're separated out as artists and guest artists. That's kind of weird. So this volume 1 contains 0 through 7, so that's 8 issues. So here's Fernando Pasarin. I love his art style. Really, really cool. I thought it really did grow on me the more I read him. And then I think this is the 0 issue, and it jumps in between. It looks like it jumps in between artists somewhat. Here's the Hawks, So you're just going around. Here's Maxwell Lord. This event is this page is basically set up for Justice League Generation Lost. Here, these 2 pages, and then it goes in to that over there. So Brightest Day takes place after Final Crisis. Because Martian Manhunter had died during Final Crisis, and there was a whole issue of his funeral of this, in this place on Mars with they placed a Choco cookie, which is basically like an Oreo, and he had come back in Blackest Night as a zombie. So this is that here. What's weird, though, is that Final Crisis issue, that tie-in, that Final Crisis Requiem's never been collected in the main Final Crisis book. Even though Martian Manhunter dies in, I think, the first issue. So you have, and this is all pre-New 52 stuff. This is DC still doing stuff they want to do here. You got some really cool, okay, so let's go look at this Aquaman page. I'm not sure why. So this is Ivan Rice on Aquaman before 52. So this is where they took a look at it and said, Ivan Rice, all right, you can draw some Aquaman. You're going to do Aquaman when we do the new 52 a couple years after that. I don't know why there's black bars. I don't think it was a 4-page splash or anything like that. It's just the way he chose to draw it. This is probably Eau Claire Albert on inks, maybe. This is Scott Clark, this kind of very, I don't know, looks almost digital style, I guess. But it's very clean, very precise. Got Patrick Gleason doing Martian Manhunter stuff over here. So I want to say, if I can remember, that they had special art, each artist handled their own storyline, so that as a weekly book, you might get, this character or that character in this storyline, and that artist would handle all of that storyline. So I think Ardian Syaf is doing the Hawks here. You had Patrick Gleason doing the Martian Manhunter stuff, Scott Clark doing the Firestorm, and then this is Boston Brand, this is Ivan Rice over here, this is Dead Man, with some Anti-Monitor stuff. I mean, all this you kind of have to read, definitely have to read Blackest Night. You may have to have read some of the Green Lantern stuff with Jeff Johns, because this is all tying into what a White Lantern is, what a Black Lantern was, and all different kind of things. I don't remember if all these things tied in together. Here's a White Lantern ring that Hawk has. But yeah, they're all kind of doing their own thing. And I can't remember if they all tie into the same thing. I think it does at the very end. I can't remember what exactly it was, though. Yeah, the Hawks are doing their, like, death and rebirth thing. Anyway, so here's some other covers back here. Variant covers for all the issues. So I gotta say, this is the one thing that is weird. There's this was a Brightest Day variant cover scheme they did for the first couple issues, and everything ties together. If you got all the issues and like laid them out in a certain way, and this is what it looked like, it doesn't really make any sense. They have all the different avatars of the different like colors of the lanterns here. You got Neron up top and the bright White Lantern avatar. I mean, again, all that avatar stuff is going on in the Brightest Day Green Lantern part. But yeah, these all ran also too. These were on different Brightest Day tie-ins. This is from Green Arrow 3, Justice League Generation Lost number 8. So these were all over the DC books at the time. So there you go. Let's open up Volume 2. This collects Brightest Day, does it say? 8 through 16. There you go. And I want to say David Finch did most of the covers on the main series. So you got his like kind of painted stuff here. This is from 2010. So can you believe this is 11 years old? Hawk stuff here. Martian Manhunter. I think his wife came back to life or some weird storyline like that, and you weren't sure if that was his wife or not. Firestorm. This is Ronnie and Jason are fused into one, I think, for the first time ever. The other thing here that happened in Brightest Day, you had the introduction of Jackson Hyde, who is the new Aqualad, and he is introduced here in this story. His origin gets revamped. I think he goes into the Young Justice cartoon series, and they make him a little bit different. And then like his look totally changed when he appeared in the New 52, and now he pretty much matches what he was in the Young Justice cartoon, because they decided not to give him dreadlocks and give him this blonde haircut. So that's how you see him mostly now, normally. Yep, here's Martian Manhunter, Ardian Syaf. Ardian Syaf, man, I think what a fuck up. He just messed up his career. He's a phenomenal artist, and you got to inject politics into your art, and you just ruin your career in this day and age. Honestly, it's I think it's a big mistake for, have a passion in your art and stuff like that. But when you start, I mean, he got in trouble, not on this book, more recently. He got in trouble for putting, I believe he's Indonesian or something, so maybe he's Muslim. And he put some like anti-something language in the background of one of his comic books, and basically just got yanked off whatever book he was working on at the time. But he was probably still is a phenomenal artist, but you can't do that stuff, man. If you're gonna sell that stuff, people are gonna find out, and you're gonna lose your job. It's common sense. Like, you're at work, don't say stupid things at work. That's all you gotta do. So if you're a comic book artist, don't put stupid things into your work. Like, it's just dumb. This is a cool moment. So this is Batman as a White Lantern. That's pretty neat. I can't remember if this is Bruce Wayne, or this has got to be Bruce Wayne, not Dick Grayson at the time. Yeah, he's got the glowing bat symbol. So this is the Batman Incorporated Batman that was going on at the time, because I remember he came back and had the glowing bat symbol. Martian Manhunter. There's some weird stuff in here. So here we got some more variant covers. Or no, that's not a variant cover. That's a real cover. Gary Frank. So yeah, we're no longer in the David Finch doing all the covers anymore. I think that was the intention. They said, like, we're going to launch this with covers by David Finch. And then I guess that didn't happen. There's more variant covers back here. See the continuation of this big poster thing they were doing. Most of these variant covers are Ivan Rice, which is fantastic. Although this is his non-inked, pencils only style, which I don't like. I like the inkers that he works with are fantastic, and I always believe Ivan Rice should be inked. That's just me. So, there you go. Reborn to Die. I think they do turn into Black Lanterns again at some point, and then they turn back into White Lanterns, something like that. Let's look up Volume 3 here. I mean, I had a lot of fun with this story. I think it's just a fun little story. It's nice, and it's not short by any means because it is 24 issues. This Volume 3 collects, if we ended at 16 on the last one, it's got to be 17. Yep, 17 through 24. Hey, look. Oh, that's Gary Frank. It looks like David Finch, though. Man, that looks like David Finch. Scott Clark. Yeah, so the cool thing about this book, I think, out of everything, was that they had consistency in the art, that you had a main artist for each storyline, and so when you turned the page and saw that art style, you knew you were jumping to this character or that character. There's more White Lantern stuff. Again, I can't really speak to what the story was. I think at this point they do start tying in together. Some moments with Aquaman and Black Manta maybe you don't want to see. Spoilers for. Here we go. I think we're getting to the end of the story here. They're all starting to get White Lanterned and tying in together. Here's some Anti-Monitor stuff. Here you go. Now they're all Black Lanterns. What the hell is going on? Are we having a premonition? They're fighting over the White Lantern. Swamp Thing, Black Lanterns. Are we doing a repeat of Blackest Night? Like, what's going on here? And then the weird thing was at the end here, spoilers, I mean, it's the cover of the last issue. Swamp Thing came back. And this was like the reintroduction of Swamp Thing into the DC universe after he had been like sectioned off and siphoned off into Vertigo. And I think they were supposed to do a Swamp Thing storyline, but I think shortly after this we had Flashpoint and then the New 52, and then Swamp Thing got his own book there in the New 52. So I don't remember if they were supposed to do anything else extra. And then boom, yeah, there's the big thing. John Constantine is also back in the DCU. Not just Swamp Thing. So this was DC starting to reintroduce their Vertigo characters back into the DC universe from where they had been siphoned off for, 20, 25 years at that point. So here's some look at some variant covers back here, and then a sketchbook and some other designs for other White Lanterns that I can't remember if we saw in the book. We probably did. But yeah, there's all sorts of designs for the White Lanterns and Black Lanterns and all that stuff. So, I don't know. I thought it was a pretty cool story. I do like the hardcovers here. It's pretty neat, and I think 3 volumes is probably a really digestible way to split them up in terms of like how much to read and all that. So that is nice because I'll tell you, the Generation Lost hardcovers, they're not hard to read, but they're a bit thicker. But than the Brightest Day ones. Not by much. But it's just kind of, it must have been a sales thing. Like, we're going to sell more of these than we are going to sell of the Justice League Generation Lost. And honestly, this is an underrated story, but we're here to talk about Brightest Day. I liked Brightest Day. I think it was one of the better weekly series that they had. I think because they only had 2 writers on here, Jeff Johns and Peter Tomasi, seeing everything through. And Peter Tomasi had done his time with Jeff, working with him on the Green Lantern Corps the entire time this was going on, so they're pretty much in lockstep, and that's, I think, why this, turned out pretty well. So, it's not talked about much, you don't see like a omnibus collection of Brightest Day or anything like that. I think there should be, or at least a deluxe edition. Maybe you turn in Justice League Generation Lost in there with it, if it's not big enough for a big omnibus or something like that, but honestly, I think it's pretty good. If they get a Blackest Night hardcover omnibus, then they need to put this together as well, and throw this in there as too, because this is a whole lot of fun. But anyway, that is my overview of Brightest Day. Let me know what you guys thought of the event. If you're going to read it again, try to track down some soft covers or hard covers, whatever you want to do. And let me know what you think down below, and we'll see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.